Hi, it's Tuesday, the 28th of April 2020, and it's White Self-Existing Dog Day. I'm going to show you this calendar today. This was the first calendar that I bought. There we are. We are in the Red Castle, and so that's this 52-day process. And this began here on the 30th of March 2020, 7 days into lockdown in the UK. At the moment we've got Sun in Taurus and we've got Moon has just gone into Cancer at 9 degrees as I'm making this. I'm making this in the Leo meridian time, which is 11 AM till 1 PM. Cancer at 9 degrees. This is from a website, aquaorfire.net. A skeleton playing a flute. Death is a haunting accompanist to the tender side of life. The spine-tingling touch of death close at hand renders poignant and accentuates what is vital in the world of the living. It takes courage to dance with death. Fear is natural under the circumstances. You have to play your fear and turn it into the music of courage. Wandering along the threshold between the living and dead, belonging to neither world, yet integrally part of both. Intimately familiar with every side of existence. One who passes as a stranger, unknown and unknowable. Solitude is your element. The contemplation of the mysteries becomes as natural as breath, as ingrained as holding steady in the violent windstorm of life in the earth. Lyrical, melancholy, and disassociated from familiar, comforting things. A mist or haze wraps you about, creating an aura of the uncanny, and it is there you feel at home and nowhere else. So if you're watching this video today, you're one of the rare few on the planet who is aware of this process, first of all. And if you're doing this process, fantastic, because life is at a whole different level for you in doing that. So I'm going to share some complex process today from my perspective of doing the Mind Wave spell and learning about astrology for the last 8 years. I'm in my 9th year with calendar. And I'm a blue hand, a blue solar hand. This is my initiating wave spell, if you like. It's the 13-year cycle that I'm in, a year 11 of. The nature of the wave spell is it has a different language, as does astrology. And so it's essential to learn this language in order to understand it. And there's lots of things to learn at this time. So I'm going to be sharing some concepts that you may not understand intellectually. I'll try and make it as simple as I can. And the key to all of this is the nature today. So the nature of today, in terms of the cosmology, the Mayan sign is white dog, is the 10th Mayan sign. So the 10th process, the 10th archetype. It's the 10th house in the astrological chart. It's the heart's desire. It's the Sirius star, the greater sun. The planet is Mercury. Mercury has just gone into Taurus today. It's the message of the goddess. The return of the sacred feminine. No bullshit. It is what it is. Coming into alignment with that energy. So, as I've just discovered, in terms of working with this every day, I get what I call downloads. I get intuitive insights as to what to look at. And I wasn't aware of the exact cosmology today, which people I know have shared, people who are part of my tribe. So thank you, Paula, for sharing that. And what I'm going to try and do is interpret that in a practical, down-to-earth way using Jose Argeles's Mind Factor book, which if you haven't read that, that's a good book to read if you feel ready to read it and if it aligns with you. This whole process is a synergizer. It's about aligning us with a different message to what we have been conditioned to. So in terms of White Dog and in terms of these rows of 20, so the first 20 days we went through the initiating and the refining, partly the refining process, which was Red Dragon, what the Great Mother is bringing us for our conscious evolution, to let go of our delusions and illusions. Neptune is a planet. We then went into White Wizard to refine that. This is how it works. It begins with red, it goes to white. It doesn't actually show it in that colour scheme on here. And so red, white, blue, yellow. Red is awakening, white is refining, blue is transforming, yellow is manifestation. In terms of each number, so we started with the number 10, we're now on the number 4. Okay, so it's -6 in the first row, and then it goes to +7 in the next row. I don't know what that means yet. If anybody knows, if anybody's watching this and they know what it is, please do get in touch with me. Other than that, I will wait until the time comes when I will know that information. And that is what this is all about. Our mind wants to race ahead. Our mind wants to be somewhere we are not actually living and embodying. And again, this is key to this process. White Dog is a burner day. So traditionally, every 65 days, which is a process of a wave spell, a castle, so we have 4 wave spells, 52 days, and then an additional one, that makes 65. Okay, so when we get into the additional one, if you see, we have red, white, blue, yellow, and green. We go into a different space on the 5th one. The 5th is key. It's the overtone. It's the mastery of the previous 4. With me so far? I know it's complex, but I can't do anything about that. Okay, so when we go into red self-existing serpent, which began here in White Wind in the Green Castle. Okay, so we've already done that. If you look on my blog, flowwithjo.com, I have listed the wave spell dates if you want to go back and see what you were doing then. And this is what I am doing as a process. This is the difference that makes a difference, I believe, is actually living the process and using it daily as a practical tool by first and foremost understanding yourself and what you were doing at these key times. So again, I can do that because I have been doing it for 9 years. I'm not saying it takes 9 years to do it. I'm just saying it's a synergizer, it's a process, and you have to do the process. There are no shortcuts. You may know things intellectually about this, but if you're not living it, then you are not using it in the way that it's meant to be used. And I will come back to that later. Okay. At this time, it's crucial that people are getting online. Having said that, it's already written, it's already planned. So if you feel to and you're doing this, then it's the right time for you. If you're not, it's not the right time for you. And that sounds like some sort of hippie, not taking responsibility thing. But I promise you it's not. It's all about conscious intent and whether it's the right time for people to come online in a deeper way. So, white dog is a burner day on the planet, and self-existing is the number 4. Key day 4 in every cycle is about becoming self-existing, as in free of codependency. As we are now very much understanding deeper and deeper every day, we are all interdependent on each other. Everything is important, although there's still these frameworks beaming out there around some people being more important than others. We're all important. We're all essential for this game of evolution that we are in. Everybody is perfect where they are. Everybody is a teacher and a student wherever they are, showing each other what the codes are and the next level of conscious awareness. So, Red Self-Existing Serpent, 65 days ago, was where we initiated this process. Thousands of years ago, these days were known by the leaders of communities, and they were used as sacrificial venting days, emotional venting days in a channeled way, so they would be days of sacrifice. It could very well be that there are still people today who are aware of these days and are using this process. Whenever these days come round, these are key for the individual focusing on themselves to really be with oneself and what is coming up in one's personal story for conscious evolution. In another 65 days, we will have blue self-existing eagle, and that will be a transformation day. 65 days from then, we will have yellow self-existing sun. So all of these are called burner days. Each one of us has a personal burner day, which is our Mayan sign through the other 3 tribes, as well as our Mayan sign. Again, if you're not aware of this, you have a Mayan sign and you have 3 other codes that go with that. So for example, I am a blue solar hand. So the rest of my tribe is red solar earth, white solar wind, and yellow solar human. If you are 52 and you are a red serpent, white dog, blue eagle, or yellow sun, you have already done your 52-year cycle and you are a Mayan elder. Congratulations, you've done your labyrinth, okay? So if you are one of those signs, this will be a key year for you. And again, what I've learned to do for myself and I do with my clients is I map code for them so they become very consciously aware of what they are working with in their own pattern. And this is essential to these processes of red serpent, white dog, blue eagle, and yellow sun, because the nature of this tribe is key to the whole process. They're all key. No one more important than others. They're all key. But what we're talking about today in the cosmology is key to understanding the evolution process of the human being. So not only is white self-existing dog a burner day, so every time it comes around, it's key for emotional evolution, it's also a clear sign. Please check out my blog and look under 13 clear signs. It's on flowwithjo.com. It relates to Pakal Votan's tomb in Palenque, which is a temple of inscriptions, and again is referred to in the Mayan Factor and in several other places as well. Just Google it for more information. And the tomb was discovered in 1952, and it has a picture on it, which is Pakal Votan on a tree of life. And around the sarcophagus, there are 13 signs which reveal a process. And so I've just put it down now, but it's here. So here it is. So I had this calendar. I was doing it for 4 years on, looking at it every day. It was on my wall. And when it was the right time, I noticed this. This is key to how to work with this calendar. It's different. You don't go and read everything that you can get your hands on. That's an intellectual way of doing it. You can do that, but that's not what this is about. It's a synergizer. It's about aligning with galactic code and human evolution process. So that's a whole different system of learning how to switch on that part of you that's been switched off for the majority of the human being tribe, I would guess. People who have been conditioned, so most peoples who have been influenced by the West, for example, there are very few indigenous tribes who are still holding code that hasn't been corrupted by the human being way of genocide, of taking over places. Is there anybody out there who still has clear code? Maybe there is. If there is, I know there are tribes who are part of the Mayan awareness and process and still live it. And so I guess that they don't need to do this process on the level that other people do. And the process that I'm talking about is healing, to release the old story that's in our genes, literally, so we can become a receiver in a different way. And I'll try and explain more of that now. So 13 clear signs are there. When I noticed this, I noticed that mine was on there, and that led me on what I call a cosmic cookie trail to discover what is this and what does it mean. And this is what I offer you. If you are running a program in your mind where you just want to cram information in, that's not it, okay? This is about rewiring yourself so that you remember who you are, not who you think you are. This again is the confusion for most people. They're running an intellectual program, not realizing yet that they have to do some serious work on themselves as to healing and rewiring their amygdala and their human being story if they want to become a receiver, i.e. clear of old code, open to receiving new code and embodying it and living it. So, hope you're with me so far. When you start really aligning with this, you don't need to ask questions of other people. You know. Now, this is key to the big astrological shift that's happening with Gemini going into the North Node on the planet on May the 5th. And so there'll be a huge cosmic shift then, because North Node in Gemini is exactly about this process. The South Node's in Sagittarius. So it's using data, it's using code, that's Gemini, and then how to really understand and make sense of it by living it and knowing it, which is Sagittarius. So I have this in my chart, which is really key for me at this time. Okay, so where things are in your chart, again, these are your cosmic codes, it's key for you. So I didn't know about all the Venus astrology that was happening today. Again, coming into alignment with the now is what this process is all about as well. It's about not going too far ahead and being in the now. Great programs to watch on this at the moment around code and consciousness and presence are Devs, which if you're in the UK, it's on BBC iPlayer, mind-blowing. If you're in the US, I think it's on Hulu. If you want to watch an amazing program, Westworld is on Sky and Now TV in the UK, and it's a HBO production. It's realizing that we're holographs, okay? So we align with what we need to at the time that we need to, and the more we become clear of the old story, the more we align with a greater consciousness, awareness, because that's what we're here to do at this time. So just showing you, this is page 53, Diviners of Harmony, and if you can see that, this is in the Mind Factor again, you can see that these 4 Mayan signs are in there. There's other things in there as well. But basically, what I'm trying to do is describe the process for you of my understanding of where I am. And the first thing that I want to say to you is, there's no shortcut on this. You cannot access this information unless you heal. White Dog is about ancestral wounding and ancestral patterns. And it's very simple. This is my understanding of it. Please don't shoot the messenger, okay? It is what it is. This is not my message. This is the message, okay? So, in terms of our personal evolution, if you do not heal your wound, if you do not heal your story, you're stuck in it. If you do not heal your amygdala and you do not rewire it, this is the emotional mind, this is the survival mind, this is red serpent, is a survival reptilian brain. And understanding that is so key. Red serpent is about Kundalini. It's about what gets on your nerves. It's the 5th Mayan sign. It's the overtone. It's the mastery of relationship. If you're a red serpent, that's what it's about for you, is what's getting on your nerves. I'm just talking really simplistically, and noticing that, because anything that's emotionally triggering you is white dog. White dog is the emotional mind, is the mammalian part of our brain. And so in the amygdala, we have all our trauma stored. And in terms of what's happening on the planet, we are seeing a collective trauma projection now. Okay, so it doesn't matter what we do on the outside to fix it. In one sense, of course, it does matter that we create solutions from what's happened and we understand it. But in terms of people's personal storylines and projections on computer programs, if you like, if you see this as a giant PlayStation game, using that as a framework. And I do not mean to trivialize anything or anybody's experience that is happening right now, because it's huge. Okay? There's so much trauma being created now. And that will continue to happen until people heal their personal stories, their template, and change their light body on the inside. Again, this is connected to Carlos Castaneda. All of this is connected around understanding how to become a warrior of the heart, heal the heart, clear the trauma, become emotionally free, become free of the story. If we don't do that on a personal level, we get stuck in it and we keep repeating the same lessons. We keep going over old ground until we do. And this is not a quick fix. This is not a game over in, do loads of emotional freedom technique, which is what I absolutely know clears this. Okay. This is not a fast journey. Sorry. I know a lot of people are fed up right now, and they're fed up of keep reliving their story, and they can see how they're living it. And they can understand it intellectually. They can get the concept. Okay. So that's in Red Serpent and White Dog process. Now, in order to go beyond that, you go into Blue Eagle and you become a planetary server, which is you see your bigger picture pattern and you work on it every day. Every day, you be disciplined with yourself and you heal these old wounding patterns. You heal the individual stories that you have lived so far for yourself. And again, sorry, but you have to face your own demons. It takes a strong person to go back over their own stories that have hurt them and created wounding, to relive them again, feel it all, let go of any avoidance of it, stop doing coping mechanisms such as alcohol, such as drugs, such as any sort of avoidance activities, buying stuff. Again, what we're seeing now is that has stopped to a large degree, and people are in their home or they're working in challenging environments, maybe, or whatever that individual's experience is, it's revealing a past pattern. Once we have created our initial pattern in childhood, we will relive it the rest of our life on some level. And again, sorry if you don't like that story, but it's about learning from it. It's why we came here at this time, to end the stories so the new ones can begin. And we have to embody it, we have to live it, we become an expert on it. And then if we heal, then we transcend it. There's no shortcut. We chose to come here at this time to do this, so we have to get on with it. So, key to understanding is knowing astrology and cosmology, because of what the planetary transits are at this time and how they are affecting you. Then you become proactive. You're not reactive. You're working with the universe, rather than feeling that, what's going to happen next. It's key to White Dog is not being a victim and learning whatever you need to learn, stopping all the behaviours that no longer serve you, that make you ill as a human being. Take full radical responsibility for yourself and your own trip while you're here, because that is true empowerment. Yes, we have been told a lot of misinformation. And it doesn't do us any good to be stuck in blaming, because it doesn't change anything. So in order to change something and become solution focused, which is what the Age of Aquarius is all about, we have to do our personal inner work every day on what's coming up, and focusing on that now as much as we can, because as we change our personal story, we change the inside light body, we change the rewiring of the amygdala, and believe me, as you change the inside, the outside changes. Key to this time, key to this work, and why we're here. So in terms of how that works, if you can see at the bottom, we've got red serpent, which, as it says, is the reptile brain. We have white dog, which is a mammalian brain. And then we go into blue eagle, which is the planet brain. So again, we're seeing what's happening on planet Earth right now. We're seeing our bigger picture. We're seeing our role in it. And again, how you can use the Mayan calendar and astrology is you can map your family, you can map your friends, you can see what codes they have, you can see who's coming in at this time to do the dance with you, and you can understand how your partner will be your mother or your father or a grandparent. You will be repeating that family line. It's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing once you start to map it and see it and understand it. And it's not super hard to do. It takes work. It's essential to knowing yourself and your role, your mission impossible, should you choose to accept it at this time. The focus is on you. I, me. The ego likes to focus on the outside and everything else rather than work with this. So I'm not saying it's easy, this work, because it's not. You can do it. I have done the initial process. I'm a work in process. I'm doing it every day. These timelines, these stories are tough right now because we've come to the end of this way of being for human beings. So it's really, really important. If you want the world to change, you have to change, because once you understand this concept, you realize it cannot change without mass human change on the inside. So this is talked about in esoteric terms, the great work. Again, this is not a mental process on its own. This is healing the heart. This is marrying together the mind and the heart. This is the emotional evolution. This is what my sign is all about. Blue solar hand, a clear sign on Pakal Botan's sarcophagus. So my individual human being story is key to this process. If you are a clear sign, and if you don't know, get in touch with me and I'll show you how to work it out. Then your human being story is key to the whole planetary evolution. There are 260 stories. That's the Mayan calendar. Okay, so once we've done those processes, then we go into yellow sun, which, as you can see, is here. And this is where, because we are doing this integration and we're getting clear, we can beam in the new cosmic code ourselves. We can align with it on every level. So all our behaviors that aren't in alignment with truth, that are in alignment with codependency and power imbalance, which is, you know, huge on the world stage, where we have some people who have huge resources and control huge amounts of people who have few resources. So in order for that to happen, again, it's no use blaming other people, because we're all in this dance together. There's a reason for that. We need to understand what that is, Gemini data. We need to really work with that awareness now. This is why all of this is happening, to bring this to light as to the people who are in charge of resources and other people and how they are living, and so that we can make a societal shift. We've had to have this experience to know that. And again, this is about us growing up. So this is what the Venus process is. This is about people as individuals becoming mature, making mature choices that are aligned with truth and health. It is what it is. In terms of karmic patterns, this creates that. If you don't like that, don't do this. We're conscious creators who have been creating unconsciously most of the time. Now we're coming into a place of conscious creating and understanding what choices we've made, what that has created, so cause and effect. And there are many different choices. There are many different roads we can travel in this life. And the difference between these roads is doing the work and making the choices that align with health and truth. If we don't do that on a personal level, there is no way we're going to live in harmony. There's no way we're going to live in loving, respectful relationship, because loving, respectful relationship is extremely rare on the planet, just isn't in the experiences that most human beings have had. So to go to what has been sent out as an article today, I'm just going to try and explain that step by step in practical levels as much as I can. But it is difficult to translate this if you don't understand the basic principles of the calendars. You need to understand something, but I'll do my best to try and explain it as far as I understand it, as always. Okay, so I'm just reading from this page, which is on Facebook. It's Harmonic Convergence 2020. And so they've sent out an article today. And I know it's off-putting for a lot of people who really feel a connection to this information and cannot access it. But again, it is about learning a different language. Okay, so as I say, the web page, the Facebook page, you want to go on it, Harmonic Convergence 2020. And it's talking about the Venus and the Moon open 3-day celestial stargate. So I'm just reading from this article. After a close encounter with the Moon on April the 26th, Venus will be at its greatest brightness of the year on Tuesday, April 28th. Now, Venus is absolutely key to the Mayan wave spells. Anybody who's thinking about the Mayan society as being Stone Age, I know that was perception of a lot of people who've been writing about them. They have created these amazing calendars. They have mapped patterns and cycles for thousands of years and lived them. How can that be something that's Stone Age? Again, we have this perception that things that are from the past are somehow less evolved. And again, if you read the book, The Mayan Factor, you realise that this is certainly not the case, and that this is a whole way of understanding that is often beyond our perception, for starters. If we have a closed mindset, if we have a conditioned mindset, we cannot even see or perceive this. So again, this is key to getting clear. And so the calendar is designed around Venus, and the center column of it, which I will bring you my calendar so you can see that. So this is the centre column here, okay? This is Blue Monkey, and which begins here. It's also White Mirror, but the blue within the blue is about transforming the divine child, and the planet is, for Blue Monkey, is Venus. Now, lots of ancient spiritual processes talk about transformation of the divine child. They're in every culture. And so the point of this process, if you like, is to become clear, to go back to your innocent child who was wounded by people who weren't of the light, if you like. These are complex processes. It's hard to put it into words. But basically people who've been wounded themselves and just carried on that behaviour in their way of parenting. So again, if you look at Gabor Mate, watch his videos, he explains it fantastically as to going beyond the medical model in the West. Understanding mind, body and spirit is key to understanding how we as human beings create trauma in our bodies and how our disease model works in a mind, body, spirit, which again has been known in the East for thousands of years. So again, different people's stories, different people's perceptions often comes from ignorance and often comes from a very limited perception and not being open to learning new models. Okay, so in terms of Venus, Venus again is key in lots of different myths, such as Persephone, for example, key to Iana, is the goddess going down into the underworld at key times of the year. So watching these celestial bodies and how they move and how that is also reflected in our personal process, because what's going on in the starry skies is also what's going on in us, because we are stardust. Okay, so we're born with a cosmic code. We come in at a particular time on the planet with a mission, with cosmic coding. So again, once you start to explore your cosmology, albeit in the Mayan or in having your natal chart done, you start to see how you're so much more than your sun sign. You have all these amazing different aspects of yourself. And as Venus moves around in the starry skies, so she's due to go retrograde, she makes all these points. Again, I don't fully understand this. This is new learning for me as well. I'm trying to understand more about the cycle. And I know that there was a huge cycle in 2004, which again was really, really key for me. So again, if it calls to you, start exploring what goes on with Venus, what her transits are. And it's a huge part of the Mayan process, is knowing what your Venus alignment is, whether you're born at the time of it being a morning star, whether you're born at the time of it being an evening star. And they used to use this information to really plan things like today, where they had sacrifices, where they decided to go to war or not. And so again, we don't know the full reality of what was going on back then, but like many processes, they begin in a very literal sense. So instead of healing the heart, instead of doing the healing process, they were involved with taking the heart out of their enemies, or the people who were the gladiators, who were the winners, you know, sacrificed themselves, the bloodletting ceremonies. You know, this way of primordial framework that people have used, and how we're refining that over centuries as well. So again, back to their celestial stargate. Okay, so again, I'm just going to paraphrase through this. You can see the message yourself. It's on my Facebook page as well. Venus is currently the second brightest object in the night sky, second only to the moon. On Tuesday night, the planet will appear to shine more than 9 times brighter than its brightest planetary competitor, Jupiter, and it will outshine Sirius, the brightest star in Earth's night sky, by at least 20-fold. After this week, the bright evening star will slowly start to dim again before the planet disappears in the sun's glare at the end of May. It will appear in early June as a morning star. This portal closes with climatic elegance the month of April that started with the closest Venus and Pleiades conjunction on April the 3rd, which I have talked about on my videos in flowwithjo.com, and so we had an amazing connection there. So as we come into Taurus energy every year, this is the Pleiades where the constellations are, and so again it talks about that. So again, the more you know about astrology, but again, if you get yourself a power team of people that already know about this stuff, as I say to my clients, my key focus is on self-empowerment, so on them learning their own codes and on them learning how to do EFT, and I do workshops on this. So I have many years of experience of doing this, so I do have a different skill level, so people can come in and connect to me as and when they need additional support. But that is not a codependent relationship. I'm not going to do it for anybody because that is not empowering for them or for me. And this is what this time is about, letting go of codependency. Okay, so in terms of what they talk about now is the 8-year pentagonal cycle of Venus, which is 2012 to 2020. Now, in terms of the Mayan calendar, there was a massive shift on December the 21st, the winter solstice, in 2012. And many people misinterpreted that to be the end of the world. It was the end of a 5,500 year cycle, and we began a new one. So again, it's seeing that we're in an end of times process so that new ones can begin. This is what apocalypse means. It means raising consciousness, the veil's dropping, people are becoming more consciously aware. And often this is a painful process because we have to let go of the comfort zone that we are so wired into. That's the red serpent and that's the white dog. So this alignment in space was of extra special significance as it took place on Kin 5, 5 serpents, exactly 19 years from the start date of the current Venus round of 104 years, which was 201 to 2105. So when this 100, sorry, I'm getting caught up in the numbers now. Okay, so let's go back to the calendar. That's the easiest way. So when we started this cycle here on the 30th of March, we came to day 5, that's what they're talking about, red serpents. Yeah. So again, if you check out my blog and my video, flowwithjo.com, you will see that I have made videos around this time to explain this. So red serpent, so 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd of April. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. That is red serpent day in the first 13-day process. Okay, so 19 days from the start date of the current Venus round of 104 years. So that's the Venus process. 2828 280 Stargate, which is today. This 3-day window from Venus-Moon conjunction, so Venus and the Moon are conjunct, So Venus' greatest brightness, which they've put kin 28, 2 star, kin 29, 3 moon, and kin 30, 4 dog. So each one of the Mayan signs has a number. It's a kin, meaning family. And so again, the cycle that we're in at the moment, here we are. So we're in the 13-day process of blue hand. And so when they're talking about 2 star, there we are. And that's the number, the Mayan number of 28. So we're 28 days in to this 260-day cycle. Kin 29 is red electric moon. And kin 30, which is today, is self-existing dog. So that explains that bit. So in other words, this celestial portal starts on the 28th day of the Zolkin count and ends on the 28th day of the 4th month of the Gregorian year. Kin 28 2 star represents with impeccable elegance the conjunction of planet Venus and the moon. How is this? Venus is associated with a star glyph. Yes, because yellow star, the planet, is Venus. Okay, so yellow star and blue monkey are twin together. They both have Venus as their planet. The moon is represented by the lunar tone 2 and the second day of the window, red electric moon. So again, red electric moon was yesterday. In the list of perfect numbers, 28 holds the second position after 6. A number is called a perfect number when the sum of its proper factors equals the number. In this case, the factors of the number, and they're illustrated there, equals 28. End of the 10th moon, producing perfect synchronization. So the other calendar process is the 13 moon calendar process, and that begins on the 26th of July every year. And that stays the same. That's a fixed calendar. So again, you can use a decoder, and I use starroot.com/CGI/daycalc.pl. So if we go to today, so we're on the 28th, and we put that in there. '28th of the 4th, we get the reading comes up, white self-existing dog, and it's moon 10, day 25. What does that mean? Okay, so again, the 13 moons, they all last for 28 days. They begin on the 26th of July every year, and they run through the same numbers. So, and the numbers are, as you can see, the tones here down at the bottom. If you want to download this calendar, you can. It's under Flow with Joe resources. Please contact me again and I'll send you a link. You can download it, you can print it off and use that. Okay, so we've got magnetic moon, lunar moon, electric moon, self-existing moon, overtone moon, rhythmic moon, resonant moon, galactic moon, solar moon, planetary moon, which is where we are now, spectral moon, crystal moon, and cosmic moon. So each of those have 28-day cycle. So today we're in planetary moon, day 25. Again, I do have documents that you can access which explain each moon. Please contact me if you'd like one of those. Today we're on day 25 of planetary moon, which means we've got 3 days left in this energy and then we go into spectral moon. So I hope that explains that to you. So again, what they're saying in this article is that produces perfect synchronization. So again, what does that mean in day-to-day terms? Well, we're now seeing where we are. We started this process of the 13 moon cycle on the 26th of July. This is also when the Mayan year starts as well. So we're now seeing what's manifest over the last 25 days. We're seeing where we actually are around authenticity, truth, being the beacon of light, how we are embodying our higher self rather than living a lie, living in alignment with old cultural conditioned mindsets. You know, this is a huge awakening time as to what we think our life was about, what we think our day-to-day was about. Well, now we've had a huge pattern interrupt to show us a very different reality. So on the 13 moon count, the 28th day of this 10th moon corresponded to day 280 of the 13 moon year and kin 33 on the galactic count of 260 days. So as I've explained to you, we're in white self-existing dog, which is kin 33. That's what that means. This celestial stargate serves as a preamble to close this planetary moon of manifestation. On the Gregorian calendar, it corresponds to day 1 of the 5th month of the year, also known as May Day. May Day is a cross-quarter festival, which is associated with various pagan festivals such as Beltane. So again, the initiation of fire to honour life, love. At this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, this is about connecting to, on a white dog level, on a mammalian level, this is about reproduction, this is about meeting your beloved, this is about spring is in the air, all of that energy. And so again, pagan symbolism is key to people who were living in alignment with natural cycles and celebrated the earth and the starry skies and lived in alignment with that energy. So it's the opposite of Samhain, which is the day of death, which is, again, both of these times they're luminal, the veils are very thin. And so one is about birth, one is about death, Taurus and Scorpio. There's also a really key pattern here around what we need to let go of, what we need to release, what we need to shift in terms of manifestation as well. And these, the access of Taurus and Scorpio is key to power struggles. So again, the more that you know about cosmic codes, you realize what's happening at this time of year. Beautiful time of year in the north, and we've had some amazing weather in the UK. It's changed to rain today. Again, how will that change the mood of the people and impact on the lockdown? That's another very significant shift. Okay, so the next bit is this alignment is of special harmonic significance, considering that August the 14th, 2019, so this is when we were in kin 33 in the last cycle, signal the last external conjunction between Earth and Venus before closing the 5-pointed star. So this is a star that Venus makes in the sky, and that both planets draw in the sky every 8 years on June the 2nd, 2020. Kin 65, which would be Red Cosmic Serpent, will open an 8-year pentagonal cycle with a coming internal conjunction of June the 3rd, kin 66, white world bridger, white magnetic world bridger. Okay, so again, in terms of what they're saying is the next significant date is going to be Red Cosmic Serpent, which is there. Okay, so that's what the energy is going to be on that day. So what needs to shift basically in the reptilian brain and our survival instincts, because we want to be moving from survival to thriving on the planet now. And so in order to do that, all our survival issues have to be healed, and we have to make the shift in behavior. Once again, when you really understand this process, you know it's very proactive. There's nothing passive about it. It's about doing a great deal of work on yourself and being disciplined with yourself so that you can personally make a shift to rewire your conditioned behavior. And generally speaking, go against most of the tribe. Again, this is what Aquarius energy is about, and the tribal mindset, which is not a healthy one, either for human beings or for any other beings on planet Earth right now. We need to get back in alignment with health. We need to get back in alignment with sustainability, and that begins in each individual. So the harmonic convergence of 33. As mentioned many times on this page, planet Venus is the orchestrating force behind the narrative of the Quetzalcoatl prophecy of 13 heavens and 9 hells. And last February 24th, we completed 33 years from the discovery of supernova 19878 Quetzalcoatl, the brightest extragalactic supernova ever recorded on Earth. The number 33 has long been synonymous with degrees of initiation. So in terms of Christ consciousness, that is it, the number 33. It's a master builder number. The significance of this milestone was presented in detail on the report Supernova 19878 Quetzalcoatl, apologies for my pronunciation if that's not correct, 33 years of a living prophecy, published on the 33rd anniversary of this groundbreaking celestial event on Kin 227 6 hand, which is blue rhythmic hand, exactly 33 days before closing one Zolkin matrix on Kin 260. So again, what this is talking about is blue rhythmic hand, which is there in the Zolkin, which is 654. 321, so that's white wind wave spell. You can see the exact date of that on my blog, where I've tried to coordinate Gregorian calendar so that we can use it practically. So when you see things like that, you can actually look it up and you can say, okay, that's what I was doing then. That's what's the most important thing for you. What was I doing then? What's repeating? It's about us as individuals mapping our patterns. The Mayan pattern has already been mapped for us amazingly at this time, so we can use it. It's about us mapping our own pattern and saying, right, this is happening to me again. I don't want it to be happening. What do I need to do to change it? And in my experience, you have to go within. Blue hand is about learning the tools that shape your destiny so you can release the old story. Okay, so again, precisely October the 26th, so this is back to Scorpio time. This is just before the thinning of the veils at Halloween, Samhain, whatever you want to call it, Day of Death on the 28th. So I was in Mexico at that time. Sorry, no, I wasn't in Mexico till 11th. I was in California at that time on, I think I flew out on October the 26th, if I remember rightly. And yeah, I've written a lot about that 260-day cycle in Scorpio, when the cycle began. Again, on my website, flowwithjo.com, I've listed 6 spirals that I have personally mapped, and it gives all the information with the key dates on there, so you can check it out for yourself. So that 260-day cycle was, again, about what needs to die so we can be reborn. All our intimacy issues, all our issues around truth. It marked the 5th internal conjunction on the 5th point of the pentagonal cycle that Earth and Venus drew in the sky every 8 years. So again, I didn't know about that. So thank you to whoever has written this. This is, again, additional information for me. And this synchronization was explored in depth on the report, The Venus Factor. So again, there's lots more information on this webpage to explore. The resurrection of Venus on Kin 1 symbolises the primal force resurrection of the goddess, Queen of Heaven, Quetzalcoatl, right before embarking on the last leg of her 5-stage journey of 2,920 days in order to complete the 5-star pentagram of resurrection on Kin 65, 13 serpents, and start a new journey on Kin 66, One World Bridger. So initiating new worlds on June the 3rd. So that's a really, really key date. Why tracking Venus now? With so much confusion and chaos transpiring around our planet now, it's wise to focus our attention in the sacred harmony, elegance and beauty of the movements of our home planet in relationship to our twin planet and brightest star in the night sky. By shifting our focus of attention from chaos to harmony and seeing the world from this higher perspective, we are helping to pacify current atmosphere of chaos. This process is also known as the telepathic reconstitution of reality. As part of the meaning of the harmonic convergence of 1987, the return of Quetzalcoatl signifies the awakening of consciousness during the 26-year harmonic convergence prophecy cycle, 1987 to 2013. In this regard, Quetzalcoatl is the awakened rainbow consciousness that characterizes the self-luminous entry into the noosphere. This is the meaning of the 7 cycles of the Lord of Dawn and the 7 144-day cycles return of sacred power. Jose Arguelles Alan-Votan. And I agree with that. And as an addition to that, coming back to what I began this video with, yes, we can understand that intellectually. Yes, we can map the cosmology. Yes, we can look at what's happening in the starry skies. In order to embody it, in order to become a beacon, signal, transformer of this amazing energy at this time, we have to do the personal work. This is not about avoidance of the chaos. That's an ego perspective that wants to avoid how it makes us feel, which is key to Blue Storm. Blue Cosmic Storm coming up on the Wesak moon day, full moon in Scorpio. I will be doing a webinar then, so please do join me. If you want to know more about how to work with your personal chaos, how to be the center in the eye of the storm, how to get clear of your ancestral patterning, wounding, so you can work with the good bits, with the adventure, with the amazing gift that you are at this time, then please do get in touch with me. I offer free consultation and we can have a chat about what's coming up for you so you can start to work and shape your destiny at this amazing transformation time. Lots of love to you all. I hope that has made some sense to you in some way. Please send me questions if you'd like to know more, and trust that whatever you know, whatever you don't know, the key is you're always open to new learning. The key to healing is how I feel is everything right now. It's about embodiment. It's about healing any feelings and rewiring our sat nav, our emotional sat nav, so that we start to live in truth and be courageous to let go of our fear at this time, because most of our fear is simply old story being projected out onto the world, and it's time to become a clear sign for those that are ready. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye for now.